Hello, everybody, my faithful followers. Alright, so this is another boxing prediction video. Unfortunately, this past weekend was not so good. We had too few, we had no really big fights, or there were a couple that were kind of interesting, but anyway, yeah. But this upcoming weekend is a different story. Alright, I want to start first with this card in England on Wembley. And there's one interesting fight. Well, two if you are really into female boxing. Because Katie Taylor is also fighting, but I'm not going to talk about that. Jordan Gill is fighting Kiko Martinez, Kiko, for the European featherweight title. And I liked what I saw. The last fight of Jordan Gill was very good. The way he came back from getting dropped in the seventh round and he just knocked out Karim Gerfi with one punch in the ninth round. That was wow. Really amazing. The whole knockout was just looked great. So Jordan Gill has one loss from before when he was fighting this guy who actually weighed above the featherweight limit on the first attempt anyway. So he was might have been that was a factor. He had to retire in that fight because this guy is pretty unknown. Otherwise, that he lost to Mario Enrique Tinoco. But otherwise, he's beaten Reese Bellotti. You know him. He fought, I believe, Carl Frampton, uh, Ryan Doyle, or no, not Carl Frampton, but anyway, he fought a few fighters that were rather good, and he's beaten as Karim Gerfi. So those are pretty much his only good wins. Ryan Doyle also he beat yeah, who is kind of all right. And Mr. Kiko Martinez, he is coming off a loss to Josh Warrington. Yeah, he was really that was really some fight. But he really got punished in that fight. Even though he went out on his shield, of course. You must wonder now, this guy has been around since 2004, actually. So, he's been a pro for 18 years, and now he's 36 still, only. So, yeah, but still, that's an old 36. So I would say Jordan Gill has pretty good chance, unless he gets caught like Kid Galahad, of course. If he gets caught with something big from Kiko, who is the I guess still the bigger puncher here, because Gill has only 8 knockouts, so 27 wins. But he has proven, in his last fight, especially, that he can hit, but still, Martinez is really very powerful hit puncher, especially for a small guy, of course, and the small divisions. So this will be a very good fight. I actually expect Gil to win this fight because he's simply the younger, fresher fighter, and we've seen him, as I said in the last fight, bounce back after getting dropped, and he just is one of those guys that are really hard to beat, and he's got fighting spirit, obviously, really never gives up and stuff like that. A true warrior spirit. So does Kiko, but as I said, he's pretty spent by now, I would imagine. Yeah. So Gil, I don't think he will stop Kiko Martinez, but it's possible also. But yeah, I think rather that he will win on points. Yeah, all right. That was the first one. We also have Joseph Jojo Diaz fighting against William Zepeda Segura, who is undefeated, 26 and 0. Hmm. This is Jojo Diaz's first fight, I believe, at 135. Or no, not the first, but yeah, the third actually. Yeah, I don't know really much about this guy, William Zepeda Segura, but he's got 23 KOs. He's 26 and 0 and 23 knockouts. So, I guess he's a puncher. In his last fight, he beat Manny Alvarado on points. Yeah, Alvarado is pretty tough cookie. But he hasn't, other than that, he's got no really significant wins. And, even Alvarado is now past his prime, So, yeah. Well, Jojo Diaz, he lost to Devin Haney, but he did have a good showing, and he beat Javier Fortuna before that. His best victory so far, along with sorry, Devin Farmer, I think. Yeah. So I of course favor Jojo Diaz in this fight because this other guy just looks a little bit, unpolished and not hasn't fought almost anybody of note yet, except for an aging Alvarado, who was never more than a puncher and a brawler himself, not really a boxer technically, not a technical fighter. All right, so I think Jojo Diaz wins on points here. Yeah. It's because he's not a puncher, and I mean, yeah, it's super featherweight. Yeah, I guess you could say he had some pop, but and at featherweight especially, but at lightweight he's not definitely not a puncher. All right, so with that I would like to go to the main fight, which is Vasily Lomachenko versus Jermaine Ortiz. That's right. Um, yeah, so this is the return of Loma. After this is his first fight this year. He's had his last in December last year when he beat Richard Comey, and he looked good doing that. Yeah, and after the loss to Teofimo Lopez, which I would call kind of at first of all it was a very close fight. I don't like when people go, "Oh, he was dominated by Teofimo." No, he was not really dominated. He wasn't doing very well in the first 6 rounds, but after that he kind of established himself, and won almost all the rest of the rounds. I also actually had him winning the second, so I had it a draw. But all right, that's my view on it. I'm not gonna push it on anybody, but after that fight, he looked pretty well, pretty good, and he looked to re-establish himself, as the major force. I like the major force in the division, and now he's fighting Jermaine Ortiz, who last beat Jamel Herring, and Herring that was Herring's last fight. So you might say he retired him in a way, even though he didn't stop him or anything. So this guy has some knockouts. Half of his wins, 16, are by knockout, 8 of them. So he's a little taller than Lomachenko, I believe, 1 inch, yeah, and has got 2 inch reach advantage, was it? No, actually, three and a half. Well, that shouldn't play that much difference. I mean, Lomachenko doesn't struggle. I never struggled with reaches, reach disadvantages. Yeah, I just unless Loma is unless this situation now with him being in the war in Ukraine and not having fought for like 10 months, uh, unless that has seriously affected him, I really don't see Ortiz winning this fight. Of course, I hope it will not happen. It may always happen to some rotten decision, like crooked judging, But I don't think so because everybody wants to see Loma fight Devin Haney, guys like that. Maybe even Shakur Stevenson or or Tank Davis. So I think even if he doesn't look too sharp in this fight, but he wins enough rounds, he will get the decision. So it will be hard for Jermaine Ortiz to win this fight. I would say almost impossible, unless, as I said, this has really, slowed down Loma's reflexes and speed, which I don't think it has, because it's not like he was out there lying on some beach, sipping cocktails all this time. He was in a war, actually, in the army. So that kind of, that holds you on your toes, of course. So, yeah, it is what it is. I mean, Ortiz is a pretty slick fighter, and so that means it will be probably a rather good fight, rather interesting to watch. Yeah, but I don't know if Loma can score a knockout here. Maybe not. I don't know. It's possible, but I mean Ortiz. His nickname is the technician, so that says it all. Yeah. So he's got some, yeah, also some amateur background, but of course not not nearly as extensive or coveted as Lomas. But yeah, I mean the difference in talent is still pretty big here. I mean, so this is a rather uneven fight. But since it's Lomas' comeback fight this year, you know, they have matched him up against somebody that they know that he can beat. Almost certainly. I keep wondering how long Lobo will have these comeback fights. It's been like since the loss. First, the Teofimo fight was a comeback fight actually for him. And then after that, he had another comeback fight, of course, against Nakatani. It's only a comeback fight because he lost, the Lopez fight officially. But anyway, I think Loma will pretty much dominate here with his movement and the speed. And, just do his best to confuse, to keep Ortiz at bay. And on the defense, I think Ortiz will not be going all out. He will look to fight more defensively because he knows he cannot match Loma's speed, simple as that. So he will be looking just to counter and jab and do that. I expect while Loma will be the more aggressive force. It may not go like the first few rounds, two or three. I believe it will go slowly because Loma will have look to just find his ground, like take it easy at first, and then when he feels more comfortable and confident, he will start engaging and attacking more. That's what I expect. Yeah. So this is a 12 round fight, so anything can happen. I mean, a stoppage. If somebody scores a stoppage, it will be Lomachenko, no doubt. Ortiz is not the kind of guy to be able to stop Loma. So, you know. But if there should be stoppage, I don't think it will come before like after the eighth round or something. Yeah, most likely. So yeah, my prediction is that most likely Lomachenko wins this fight, but probably on points, since he's fighting a technician, so this guy won't be like lounging in, carelessly and stuff like that. Jermaine Ortiz, he looked good, yeah, against Jamel Herring, but it was an old Jamel Herring at the end of his career, so that may not say so much. But we will see. I'm really looking forward to this fight. All right, I guess that would be all. All right, thank you all for watching this. See you around next time.